guys, we're going to go over question number 2 from your Star History mock exam. So first thing we have to do is read the question. So in your stimulus, while my solutions were a little less complex than those offered by FDR, I played a kind of New Deal cowboy who never hesitated to tackle many of the same problems. Gene Autry, country and western singer and actor. Why were the country and western performers such as Gene Autry popular with U.S. radio audiences during the 1930s? F. Their art related to the struggles of the time period. G. They shared stories of individuals who became wealthy. H. They promoted work programs for rural communities. Or J. Their art brought attention to the global human rights issues. I put your strategies over here for you to refer to as we break this question down. So the first thing we're going to do after we read the question is to identify our era and our topic. So our era is going to be the Great Depression because it's talking about the 1930s. And then our topic is going to be social because it's talking about country and western music. And that is a social, cultural identity topic. Alright, so next we're going to highlight keywords in our question. Here is my recommendation, is that you always start with a highlighting in this part of the question because this is going to tell you what to look for in the excerpt, quote, map, chart, so forth. Alright, so why were country and western performers such as Gene Autry popular with U.S. radio audiences during the 1930s? So I would highlight country western performers, popular with radio audiences in the 30s. So we know that when we go to read up here, we're reading to see why were country and western performers popular with radio audiences in America during the 1930s. So while my solutions were a little less complex than those offered by FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt, I played a kind of New Deal cowboy who never hesitated to tackle many of the same problems. So he's saying he played kind of a New Deal cowboy and he never hesitated to tackle many of the same problems. And what he means by this is the same problems that the people of America are going through. So for our summary, we're going to put just that. Let me pull up my text box. So we're going to put just that. Performers were not afraid to talk about issues or problems, let's put problems, they were facing. So let's go now and let's start crossing out wrong answers. So we know that when we're looking at our answer choices, we're looking for country and western artists that were popular with U.S. radio audiences during the 30s because they talked about the problems that they were facing. So we can get rid of G. They shared stories of individuals who became wealthy because we're talking about people who have problems, not people who are making money. They promoted work programs for rural communities. They're talking about how they're struggling to even survive and get by. They're not talking about the programs being offered to the communities. And then their art brought attention to global human rights issues. So during the 1930s, guys, we're just worrying about putting food on the table and feeding our families. We're not worried about global human rights issues. So our only choice is F. Their art related to the struggles of the time period. So we have art, country and western, struggles of the period, 1930s, tackle problems. This is going to be social. This occurred during the Great Depression. So that's how we know that these are going to be our correct answer. So I hope this helps you and good luck. Bye guys.